Alright, hey everybody, Vader Saber 1984, also known as that drunk guy and his bullshit opinion, coming to you on Monday. This one is going to be all things conspiratorial, looking at what we were given, what we have seen, what we suspect, anything from the old man dropping out, the shots fired, the things that people are coming up with, and then also the hearing of the Secret Service director, Kim Cheadle. That's what we're going to go over. So in ordinary fashion, go ahead, grab yourself a smoke. Grab yourself a drink or two. Grab onto your butts, your balls, your boobs, whatever you got, because here we go. Alright, now I just got off of work myself. I watched the entirety of the hearing today, which will kind of tie into everything. But first, you know, Biden dropped out of the race, and that just so happened to be after he came down sick with COVID, supposedly, and that happened on Sunday. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, you know what, there are sources out there saying that he is going to resign by Monday, and I've actually said it. And then sure as shit, Tuesday while I was playing poker, or excuse me, not Tuesday, Sunday while I was playing poker, my news flash went off on my phone and said that he is declined to finish out the race, that he was dropping out, and naming Kamala, also known as that cackling broad that hasn't done a damn thing except for, you know, be a side piece to Montel Williams back in the 90s. Anywho, I'm not going to go into so much conspiracy on that because I don't have any knowledge other than the pictures I've seen and what that lady has had in her personal life, whatever. But I kind of find it a little funny and a little odd that not one left-wing outlet has mentioned anything, that they were all like, no, he's in great health during the debate, no, he just had a bad day, and then afterwards no, he's great, we're still sticking with him. But as soon as he gets COVID, and the paper that they got of his discontinuing his candidacy for re-election that came out was not printed from the White House. Like, the president has his own paper, has its own seal, everything, and wasn't even, honestly, didn't look like his handwriting, his signature. Could have been his wife, just saying. But he's in Delaware, and for some reason, cackling Kamala, whatever you want to call her, the wannabe black lady, she is traveling to Delaware, and that's supposedly where Joe Biden's held up, and not giving a reason why, but they cleared airspace to, like, over Delaware for her to arrive. And at the exact same time, Netanyahu, the president of Israel, shows up at the White House. Who's going to be there to greet that guy? Like, isn't he supposed to have the vice president or the president there? So, as I said, you know, prior to Sunday, he's going to drop out. He's not going to make it. That old man is sick as all fuck. All of those people on the news, left-wing media, everybody on that side, journalists, Democratic colleagues, senators, governors, whatever, they were all taking his back. Actors, oh, I'm taking Joe Biden. Where are they now? Okay. they're saying he's in perfect health, he just had a bad night. No, we're behind him. And then out of nowhere, they all disappear, and Joe Biden's in some kind of a health crisis. I think it's really sad watching the House Judiciary Committee or Oversight Committee or whatever stupid ass committee they have names for. They have so many different names for so many committees. I think it's really, really pathetic that this was the only time that they have all came in there with the same objective, and that was to tell this broad she should be fired, she should resign. And I have my own thoughts about that as well. So this lady who is I don't know, she's like 25 to 30 year veteran of the Secret Service or something like that, and was made a director in 2022 and made certain changes to the details and the rules and whatever, saying that she wanted to have a 30% of women on there. She wanted to change the numbers for inclusion, you know, that way more women had, well, hey, that's fine, you know, if a woman can outshoot men, Secret Service, strong enough to carry a male body if they get hit, or, you know, strong enough to protect, hey, take that job and make your, you know, $180,000 a year, take it. But if you can't holster your own weapon and you look like you're lost in a mirror hallway at a fun house of what to do during this situation, there's some questions to be asked. Now, back to the Oversight Hearing Committee, which I'm sure plenty of people have already talked about this, but not one real legitimate answer was given. And it was sad that even the left and the right, and even the in-betweens that you're like, well, that's a rhino, were all asking genuine questions, even though they were all the same questions. And this lady just said, ask the FBI. I don't know. Ask the FBI. I don't know. She had 9 days to prepare, and she wasn't going to go, but they served her with a subpoena, so she had to, unlike Hunter Biden, who didn't have to. Now, I look at it conspiratorial wise, and I look at it straight up as what it is. If you look at the past assassination attempts on anybody, which they said in there, when Ronald Reagan's assignment detail, when he was the attempt on his life, they all resigned because they felt like they did not do their job. She won't give up her job, and she refuses. So my thought on the matter is, if you look at something like the JFK assassination, and you know, there's been tons and tons about that. We still need more information that was supposed to be released by Donald Trump, and then nothing. But even then, which we all know, JFK was assassinated by his own government, by the mob, and possibly even by Secret Service. You know, it's just too many facts out there to say, oh, now one guy can't make that many shots from those angles like that. It just can't happen. The evidence that they had, even in 1964, okay, or 1963, 63, 64, can't remember. Even when he was assassinated, they had more evidence that they were given to the public, and that their oversight committee and the FBI and the Secret Service were giving to the public than what we had today. And this is 9 days. when they had their magic bullet theory and all, they came up with a slew of things in a matter of hours to days, okay? And this lady is just saying the FBI, the FBI, the FBI. Leads me to one conclusion, that possibly two. One, the FBI has more information that they don't want released, and she knows about it, so she's covering her own ass. Or two, she plans to take the fall, get a black mark on her name, leave the Secret Service, go back to wherever she used to work, and if she survives, I'll be surprised, live her life out with no financial issues, just on that side. The other thing I think is, if they continue with this, she is going to be so distraught by losing her job that she will commit suicide, or a Jeffrey Epstein situation, or possibly a Matthew Perry drowned in her own pool, or just so many things, because they are pointing to her, and she couldn't name a single agent. Because I can get it, you don't want to put people's names out there to throw them under the bus to keep your life safe, and also to keep their name safe. I kind of get that. That's kind of smart, but when you're under oath and swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, and you say, I'll have to refer you to them, I don't know, and then they turn around and say, but you do know, you just won't tell us, I have to refer you to them. But you have spoken to them, yes. So you do know how many they collected, how many shells, how many rounds. The FBI knows, but you've talked to them, and so you know, yes, but I refer you to them. So therefore, I can tell you right now that yes, she is lying. She knows way more. Why she was not on point, why she was not there for something like that the day of the incident, the day after, the days before, to make sure, a whole bunch more holes. Because anybody that has seen the range and can see how far it was, that even one of the I think it was a guy from Texas, can't remember his name, but he said he went out to his range, did an elevated AR, and hit, I think he said, like 8 out of 9 shots, or 14 out of 16 shots, or something along those lines, and was successful. I mean, and this is somebody who is a Texan and doesn't really fire that rifle very often, and can still do that. Now, I call bullshit that he doesn't shoot that rifle as much. You go sight your gun in more than the day you got it. I'm just saying, especially if you live in Texas. All right. So I'll call a little BS on that. But still, for someone to be able to have that done at the same distance, who is not an avid range goer or a gun fanatic or a marksman, but can still do that at that range, guess what? That's a tall tale of saying it was very lucky and that shooter was a very bad shot. Okay. Moving also in the same hearing is the left only wanted to turn it into, well, it was an AR, so we need to take that away. We need to get rid of these guns. We need to get rid of that gun. When will these stupid fucks start saying it's the gun's fault? Okay? Now, just because of my misspelled words, am I going to blame the number 2 pencil? No, it's me. Alright? If I'm the retard that can't spell serendipitous, I can't blame the fucking pencil. That's just fact. Alright? A weapon is only a weapon when it is in the hands of somebody who is using it. The gun cannot just sit there by itself, load itself, aim itself, or fire itself. Now, there are extreme areas where there is a loaded weapon and it's not on safety, and it falls and it can fire, depending on the hair sensitivity of the trigger, and also the the mechanics, whether they're kept clean, whether they're but some old weapons, they can misfire. You drop a weapon, it can fire. Not taking away those extremities, but they are there. But I have 2 guns sitting in my bedroom within reach. They are loaded. They have never once in the 15 years plus that I've had a weapon loaded in my house or any house ever fired itself, loaded itself, or killed anybody. The only time it is ever used and fired and does anything is when I do it. All right, so it is a ploy on the left to get rid of our guns. All right, because the gun is dangerous. Okay, magazines. Joe Biden swears that, oh, you just need a shotgun with 2 barrels. That's all you need. Yeah, okay, if you're bird hunting and then you only get 2 shots off. But for it being a military style weapon, I'm not going to use the word assault rifle, because anything can be considered an assault weapon when you constitute assault on somebody. Therefore, it's all an assault. I assaulted him by shooting him with a BB gun. Does that mean it's a Red Ryder assault BB gun? No. It's just a name, you stupid fucks. Stop it. Now, that one left-wing, bald-headed Perry broad, I don't know where she's from. All I know is that she looks like a black Sinead O'Connor from the freaking, late 80s, early 90s. But totally shaved down Wakanda style. And all she wanted to do was race bait. Well, it's okay for a white man to get through all that Secret Service with a weapon. But in my district and like, oh my God. They always want to play the race card. And it is quite pathetic. There are hateful people out there. There are hate groups or terror groups. And, racism is not right. You should love and hate everybody equally. Hate's bad, but, it should not matter their skin color. Okay? So for her to sit there and use her 5 minutes to blatantly point out racism was just uncalled for. It really was. But I do still want to say that the 99% of everybody, with the exception of a few, well, we'll say 97%, for the exception of that really old crusty lady that went on like second or third, and just told stories because God knows if she knows where she is or what the hell she was talking about. And then the others that are like, no, this is gun violence, this is assault weapons, it's all the AR's fault. For the exception of those people, everybody else was on point, and the race baiter. But everybody was on the same point. This lady does not deserve to be in her position. She failed at her job, and if the buck stops with her, then it's her fault. Well, if you're saying it's your fault without saying it, and you don't do anything, then you're not blaming yourself. You're blaming the FBI. Now, as far as what I think is conspiring over the midst of everything is there a conspiracy or is there not? I believe that there always is a conspiracy. How come after the assassination attempt, Biden got sick and disappeared? Okay, he just magically got COVID. He had a cold while he was during the debate. They didn't rush him off somewhere. He was in a bunker for a week. But they didn't rush him off and make him disappear. And he was still cognitively okay to do the debate. But now that his funding is being pulled back from certain people and they're seriously doubting him, like we've all been saying and they were denying, he's nowhere to be found. So I'm thinking what's going to transpire is they are going to, we'll go with a couple. Something happens to Biden, whether he relinquishes his presidency and goes with the 25th Amendment due to health reasons and active duty, and it goes to Kamala, and she immediately does not have to go to the DNC or whatever it is, because theirs is in like a week or something like that for the Democratic convention. So they'll just give it to her. And then something could happen to Biden, and that could freeze up the election period. Now, the only time, like say funeral-wise, okay, who knows, he could be dead right now and they could just keep his body on ice, and then right when it's election time they could say he died, and then you can't transfer power because there is a funeral procession, which highly unlikely, because hey, JFK got shot and homeboy was signed in right there at the airport or at the hospital. He was sworn in. So the other thing is, say if Biden does relinquish all of his duties, okay, or say he passes away or something happens to him. Not saying I wish that to happen, but say if it were to. Kamala immediately takes power, picks her next vice president, which immediately would have to go to the Speaker of the House, Johnson, and then after that they would find another one, eventually another vice president. But immediately Kamala Harris puts us into an act of war, gets America involved, entangled into a war where we are boots on the ground. Say we side with Israel and we send people over there to fight Hamas, or we side with Ukraine and immediately go to war. We cannot, if my memory serves me correctly, we cannot change presidents during war. Like there's, if my memory serves me correct, there is a part in our Constitution, in an act of war, the office cannot change hands during war. That would be one way to stop the election. That would give them more time to finish the job, hearsay, getting rid of Donald Trump, whether he gets poisoned, whether he gets another shot taken at him. This kid, 20-year-old, had explosive devices supposedly, etc., etc. Okay, so the other conspiracy behind everything is, it all adds up to they do not want Trump to run again. I don't care if it's the left, I don't care if it's the Democrats, I don't care if it's the extreme voters of the left, or just crazy people that don't like him. Somebody wants him taken out, and they're not going to stop because they don't want 4 more years of him. Okay, they're already attacking his selected VP. All right, Vance, JD Vance. They're already attacking him. You know, talking about how he doesn't support this, although a long time ago he was against Trump and da-da-da-da. They're already supporting him, and, or well, trying to defame him. And that's what the left does, is they attack somebody and try and get dirt. But that's political. That's always politics. They're always trying to do some shady shit. So, I was only planning on doing this for about 20 minutes, but it looks like I'm going to go a little deeper, so bear with me and hold on. Luckily, the president did not get shot because there could have been an outburst of rioting, okay? January 6th was an outburst of stupid people, CIA and FBI operatives, okay? Undercover Antifa, okay? They were all in on that, and that is still not being given to the public, and they've been asking for years about that, okay? So if they tried to blame that on him, they tried to blame sex with a porn star, they tried to impeach him twice, then they tried to get him for election interference, and then they tried to get him for sexual harassment on some other lady. Like, they are not stopping with all this, even though that the Mar-a-Lago documents was dropped. They are going after this guy so hard, they do not want him in there. Now, why would anybody not want somebody to be a president, such as JFK? It's because they know things, and they're going to change things. They dealt with 4 years, they cannot deal with 4 more. They already took a shot at him, not saying that the left or the Democrats did it or knew about it, but the fact is that somebody that was of their beliefs wanted to do the job for him, okay? Their followers, whoever, they do not want him being a part of it. They do not want him being president. So, what do? We sit back and we go, all right, it's time to beef up the president's detail, okay? When he accepted his nomination for the Republican Party, he had a ton of Secret Service, all right? Now, there were things that happened the day of and prior and the night of, but it wasn't there. Secret Service was on point. But mark my words, they do not, the left, the extreme left, the socialist, the anarchist, the extreme liberal do not want him to run again, okay? So they will do anything to get him out from running, and he's not going to quit, all right? I myself think that, hey, you get shot at, time to talk to Jesus, all right? Things are getting scary. They want me dead. I wouldn't believe that it's just one kid with an underbite and, you know, a giant forehead like he's a mongoloid, okay? And there are pictures surfacing that he was one of those transgender, cross-dressing, confused guys. I don't know if those are true or not. Waiting for classification on that. And clarity. But I don't see any way that just this one person with those multiple angles, which I talked in a previous video, could have missed that. And with the multiple angles, there are ricochet ideas, but I don't think that this kid could have done it by himself. Just like January 6th. Those guys were just allowed to walk in, all right? And then all of the rioting started while Trump was still speaking, okay? Now, I'm not condoning it. I've said it on previous posts. Anybody that went in there and started shit, they were stupid. Like, you are in Washington, D.C., and you think that you're going to do anything that's going to keep you out of trouble. No, that's all staged and set up too. Like, that was a trap and a half. I didn't go, but I know plenty of people that did, and the FBI called them and threatened to put them in jail. So, just saying that there's more to it. All right. You may not like Trump. That's fine. There's a lot of things I don't like about him. But the one thing I don't like, or that I do not accept, is people saying, oh, well, they missed. Too bad they missed. No. That is fucked up, okay? if I were to say that about Sheila Jackson, that died of pancreatic cancer, who we know she was in on a bunch of dirty shit. She was one of the most corrupt political people in Texas, all right? And she was from New Jersey or somewhere up north, before she moved to Texas. Extremely left-wing. But she died of pancreatic cancer. You didn't see, and I've hated her for years. You didn't see me going on social media or making posts about, haha, glad you died, even though you paid off that one lady that was going after Judge Kavanaugh. Yeah, I've got the pictures of you handing the envelope of money. Never got called up for that, did you? But you also don't hear me saying, I'm glad she's dead. Or anybody taking shots at any other political person, or like Nancy Pelosi's husband. I don't know that guy. Some retard hit him with a hammer. That's fucked up. That's not cool. So why is it okay for that side of the aisle and their followers to say he should have been shot, or throwing a fit about it, or calling for him to be shot? Or how is it okay for somebody like that to, as the entire left has been saying, there is no acceptance for political violence, but yet your people who have the freedom of speech are all about that, and I'm sure there's some right-wing extremists or something like that are thinking evil thoughts on Sheila Jackson or Kamala Harris or something. Not me. So my question, and not many people that watch leave any comments, but is it okay for the director to not be at fault and to blame the FBI with not having a single shred of evidence to tell the American people? Okay, should she keep her job? Should she not be criminally prosecuted? Okay, I mean, hey, certain jobs that you work, if you mess up so bad that it causes injury or life or death, death upon a life, you are held accountable. I mean, they tried to get Alec Baldwin just because he was holding the prop gun. The other thing is, do you believe there is one shooter, two shooter, three shooters? What do you think? And lastly, do you find it that there is a conspiracy whatsoever that with all the attacking the left has done to try and keep Donald Trump from running and becoming president again, do you consider that a conspiracy? Or no, that's just fact that they are trying to keep him out of there, whether it be life, death, jail, whatever? So, conspiracy, not conspiracy. What do you think? Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here. It's already been 33 minutes, so thank you for your time. Hit a like, hit a share, leave some comments. I'll probably even do a little poll on there, but Vader Saber 1984, also known as that drunk guy and his bullshit opinion, even though I am not drunk at all. Not yet. Take care of yourself, and always, always do your research and find the facts for yourself. Do not believe what the news tells you, because 9 times out of 10, they are lying.